Bam! Watch out now, watch out, watch out now. Howdy, hey guys, welcome back. We got another video, man. So today's video is gonna be about this Warrior 15 amp 2.5 horsepower 10-inch table saw. And I had this table saw for a while. I actually, if you remember and you watch any of my videos, I actually purchased this table saw when I purchased this Banks nail gun, or Banks framing nailer. And that day I did the video on that, reviewing that, I was supposed to do a video on the table saw, but I didn't get around to doing it. Had some other things, and I definitely needed the nail gun for a project, but I didn't need the table saw at the time. And if you go back, it's been almost a year since I made that nail gun review, and I had this in my shed, and my shed ended up getting flooded, so this box was pretty much underwater. And the amount of time that I've had this, I've way past overdue of the little warranty that Harbor Freight give you without purchasing an extended warranty on your product. But it's all right. We're gonna pray to God that it works, because I know a God. I hope you guys know one too. You know, I'm not gonna get any further than that. All I'm gonna say is I know a God, and I pray you guys know one too. But we're gonna pray to God that this thing works, that it does everything we needed to do. And I got a project for it, so I definitely pray to God that it works. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the unboxing of this unit, and get to the specifications, the unboxing, and then the review. So we'll go ahead and get started, guys. Be right back. Bye. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get to this unboxing, and just a little bit on the specs, if you guys can see it. So it says here 4,250 RPM. It's a 9-inch rip capacity, and basically what that means is it has like a rip guard or a rip fence or whatever it's called, and between that fence and the blade you got at least 9 inches of capacity that you can rip. The max cutting depth is at 90 degrees, and that's 3 3/16 inches. So we're gonna go ahead and get this box cut, get into this unboxing, see everything that comes with it and everything that it does not come with. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Y'all, I lost my pocket knife, so I got to use this thing, and I don't know if it's sharp or not. Oh, it might not be sharp. Smells like mildew. Yeah, I know how I roll. Don't need that. They go to instruction manual, and you can tell it had some water damage, but it's all right. Let's go ahead and lift it up out the box. Got a little bit of weight. Guys, I don't know if I should show you guys this, but you probably can already see it. That box has a lot of mold in it. So I might have should have opened this a long time ago. But we can get this out of here. All right, guys, so this is basically the unit. And even this rip fence starting to get rust on it, surface rust. but at least the part of it that is aluminum. This top seems to be aluminum as well, but this casing here, this is like a plastic casing. So just going through everything, we have the unit itself. It comes with the feet that I guess goes on the bottom, so that you got a rubber feet for non-slip resistant. We have a miter gauge, and all this is it slides into these minor slots. And what you use it for is, so if you want to cut like 30 degrees, you want to cut 40 degrees, you can see the degree angle here. You have 0 here, 15 here, 30 here, and the same thing on the opposite side. And basically that's for like angle cuts. So if this is your blade, you'll have an angle cut, you're able to slide it, you're able to lock it in, unscrew it, turn it to wherever you want. So that's a miter gauge. This device here is the rip fence, if I said it right, and I think it goes like this. Slide it on, and this is basically your lock here. This tab here is your lock, so once you place it wherever you want it, you lock it in, and as you can see, it doesn't move. Unlock it, able to remove it, and that's everything in that. We also have here on the side, I can figure out how to take it off. Guys, I can't figure out how to take it off. But it's right here on the side. Okay. And I think this is just a guard, a safety guard, a blade guard, so that you don't cut your fingers. And we'll go ahead and show you guys how to set that up. And it also has here on the side your tools you'll need, your wrenches you'll need to install your blade. And this guard and the tools you need to install the blade are all on the same side, and they make it convenient for you. You pop it in, you lock it, and then it's there. You hit the unlock tab, pop it out. And on the opposite side, well, we go straight to the back. If you're looking at the back of the unit, this is an exhaust port for any wood that it shoots out the back. And on this side, you have your power outlet cable, your power cord here. And it also has a slot for a push stick. And I've never owned a table saw, so I think I would definitely be using this push stick. It definitely, hold on. So also on the side, it has a slot for your fence, your rip fence, which is very convenient so that you're able to store it in a compact place, compact area. All right, guys, that's basically the unboxing. We're gonna go straight into the setup, how to set this unit up. Bam, we back, guys. All right, first thing we're gonna do, guys, to set this thing up, we're gonna do the simplest thing. We're gonna install the feet. And it looks like the feet, they just pop into these grooves here on the corners. So every corner you go put that on, and it basically lines itself up. You're just popping it in that groove. Side act a little like it didn't want to go in. All right, guys, now that you got them all in, it's another good thing to point out. You have a red button and a green button. So I'm assuming red is stop, and I'm assuming green is go. This is your dial you turn for the height, to raise the height up the blade. So that sets your depth of the blade. And if you unscrew this here, this little screw here, if you unscrew that, you're able to use this to turn for your angle, so that sets your pitch of your blade. So we're gonna go ahead and set it back to 0. Basically, that'll be the only cuts we're making, is straight 90-degree cuts. So now that you have that, set that aside. Then we'll want to pull this plate off. We go grab a screwdriver that's kind of tight. All right, guys, we'll pull this plate off. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is called a miter slot. I think that's what it's called. Miter slot plate or something like that. Like I said, this is my first table saw, so I could be wrong. And we want to go ahead and raise our blade adjuster up, all the way up. And as you can see, I do have a little surface rust in there, but it's all right. And you raise it up by turning this. All right, once we have that, this little device here, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is called a writhing knife. And basically what that is designed for is if you're pushing wood through, that is designed so the wood doesn't twist or cock, because if that wood twists or cock, that blade is turning towards you. So if that blade is turning like this and you put a piece of wood in here and it gets all the way to the end and it twists, without this device here, it will twist back onto that blade. And if it twists back on that blade, the wood is going to shoot back at you, because you would be standing over here, because as you can see, this is where all your controls are, and this blade is going to turn towards you. So if you're pushing wood through and you kind of twist the wood and it catch that blade, it's liable to come back and hit you. So this riving knife is something that prevents that. So we're gonna go ahead and do the blade install. And the blade did not come with this product. I purchased the blade by itself. And this is the blade that I purchased. It's the Bauer combination 10-inch blade, 50 teeth, I guess. 5 1/8, 6,000 pound max RPM, and pretty much is good for pretty much any kind of wood. So we're gonna go ahead and get that installed. And the first thing you want to do to get that installed was to raise your blade all the way up, and we already have it up to its max point. Then we want to go ahead and take the provided tools that's on the side. We want to go ahead, loose this nut here. Throw that to the side, and we'll take our tools that's provided. One is going to hold this nut on, and we'll use the other one to unscrew the actual nut itself. So once you have that unscrewed, take your screw, put there, and this is your plate that's going to go in front of the blade. And it also has, seems like it has another backing plate here, but I don't know if it comes out. Well, if I got to work that hard, must not, or not unless it rusted in. But then we take our blade, we open up our blade package. Alright, we have our blade out of the packaging, and you want to look at the blade. So it says rotation of the blade is going to go like this. And so if we look at it from the side, we already know the rotation of the blade is going to go just like this. So the blade goes in there just like this. So what you want to do is align this blade, and it also has arrows in here telling you the direction of the blade. The blade is going this way, so just turn the arrows the same way. See if we can get this blade in. Now that you got that on, take this backing plate. This side, it has a side that's smooth and a side with a lip. The side that's smooth going to go towards the blade. And it has like a keyway cut into it, so it's only going to slide in one way. So after you put that back on, put that on, put that on. You want to grab your nut and thread your nut on. And now make sure now you do all of this with the unit unplugged. Never do this while the unit is plugged up. I don't care if you have it turned on or off. Make sure you always have it unplugged. Then you want to grab your your tools that's provided. You want to grab that washer with one, and then you want to grab the nut with the other, and then you just tighten it. All right, we have that tight. And it seems like our riving knife is in line with the blade, so that's good. You don't want that blade to, you don't want that riving knife to be on one side of that blade. You want that riving knife to be directly aligned with that blade for safety purposes. Now that we have that done, we can install the safety guard, which goes, you slide it in the slot, put it down, and that's, well, I just broke it, guys. Guys, I don't like that safety guard. I don't know if it's because mine sat in water, but my lever just broke. You can see it broken right there. So that's already something that I don't like already. And I definitely want to use this guard because, like I said, I've never used a saw before, a table saw before. So I definitely want this guard on. So for the time being, I just have to find something to lock it in place with. All right. I'm moving too fast, guys. We still got to put that plate back on. So this miter plate, throw that back on, pop it in, and it fits flush with the table. Then we grab the guard, put our guard on in place, and it basically falls in place with this dowel here. This dowel here goes into the slot back here. As you can see, the slot, it goes into that slot. So you want to put it in place, and after you put it in the slot, it'll pretty much fall in place. Then at that point, you just want to lock it down. Yeah, that lock tab was not good at all. All right, now you got that done. Next thing you want to do is you want to grab your fence. You want to put your fence over here. And the way you put this fence in, it has a tab on one side, and the other side is the locking mechanism. So you want to put this in first with the lock on. You want to slide this in on, and once you have that slide on, it'll fall in place. So now that you have that, it also have measurements here. Now, I'm not sure if these measurements are accurate, but if I was you, what I would do is, once you set it where you want it to be, you come to this point of the teeth, you measure from here to this rip fence. Then you want to move this blade all the way to the other side with the same tooth over here and measure from the tooth back to the fence. And if as long as it's the same length, now you know your fence is on and your fence is square to the table, to the saw. For your miter gauge, your miter gauge, it slides into this groove here. So this slides into here, and you're able to turn that any way you desire for whatever angle you need for adjustment. That's pretty much the setup of the table saw. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get something set up, a little jig set up, and we're gonna cut a few pieces of wood. And as far as table saw safety, don't follow what I'm gonna do, because by no means what I'm gonna be doing is gonna be right. I'm not sure. So don't follow exactly what I do as far as safety wise, because from what I've read and what I've seen, anytime you're making a cut with the miter gauge, you don't want the fence on. You should never be using these two at the same time. And the reason being is because if you're cutting a piece of wood and you're sliding it with this, and you have the fence on, and you're sliding it with this, and it binds up, that wood allowed to kick back and hit you. So you don't want to use these two at the same time, from what I've understood about it. Now, I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, you place it down in the comments. And the way this works is it's pretty much a guard so you don't cut your fingers. But that's pretty much the setup. We're gonna just get into the review. I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up, and we're gonna get a little jig going. We're gonna cut a few pieces of wood to see how it does, and that's gonna be it. Be right back, guys. All right, guys, so I got a piece of siding. I got a 2x4, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip the siding down, and just for purposes, I guess this is 3 inches or 5 inches. Oh, one thing I forgot to say was, let's check and make sure that the blade is 90 degrees. Because even though we put this dial on 0, this very well could not be 0. So what we're gonna do is take our speed square, and we're just gonna put our speed square up. And I don't know if you can see, but it doesn't look like we have any daylight showing through, so that might actually be square. So now that we know that that's square, we're gonna set this at 3 inches. We're gonna set our fence at 3 inches. As you can see, we have measurements here. So we set our fence. I say 3 inches. That might not be 3 inches, but I believe that's 3 inches. Set it at 3 inches. And you just want to do a visual to see if it's straight, and it doesn't look like it's straight. Set it there. And now that we have it set, we can go ahead and rip us down some of this siding at 3 inches. So I'm gonna slide you guys back a little bit. And I'm gonna grab this push stick, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the height of the blade. We're gonna set the height of the blade where it's barely over this siding. I had to bring it up a little bit because my guard wouldn't clear the side, so I raised it up just a little bit. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna apply pressure to this side and I'm gonna push from the back, but once I get close to the table, I'll use the push stick. So we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a few pieces of those down, and then we're gonna rip a few pieces of that siding, and I might rip a little bit off of the 2x4, and then we're gonna do a miter cut, and then that'll be it. So let me go ahead and get straight and I'll be right back. All right guys, I got it plugged in. We're gonna go ahead and hit the button, turn it on. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is raise this blade up. We're gonna cut a piece of 2x4 the same way. All right guys, really quick, one thing I noticed was this guard, you want to make sure you have it up high enough, because what I've been doing was pieces of this 2x4 was getting actually caught under this guard, and it's just been sitting on this back end that I'm trying to push. So that's a little scary. So make sure you have this up high enough that it's able to clear this easily. So we'll go ahead and do a couple of miter cuts, and that'll be it guys. So to do the miter cut, I'm gonna slide this fence out the way, grab our miter gauge, and we just have it set right now for 45 degrees. So we set it for 45. I cut it on the opposite side so you can see what I'm doing. So we have it set for 45 degrees. I grab it, and I'm gonna still use my push stick, but I'm gonna raise up the blade just a little bit. Let's turn it back on. Guys, that's the Warrior 10-inch table saw, and I think I like it, and I think it's going to be really good for what I'm gonna be using it for. So if you guys want one, go ahead and head to Harbor Freight and get one. I think the time that I purchased this, I had a coupon and I was able to get this for, I think it was $79.99 at the time, and I think they're over $100 now. So make sure you guys pick one up and make sure you stay safe. And I don't know if you could tell in the videos, but I was either on one side or the other. I wasn't standing directly in the middle, just in case something comes back and kicks back. And the reason, and if you can see those cuts, I mean, the edges aren't frayed or anything, so it cuts really smooth. So guys, if you want to check this product out, make sure you guys head on down to Harbor Freight. And also make sure y'all subscribe to my channel, man. Make sure y'all boost my channel up, subscribe, like, comment, and we love you guys. And guess what? Peace.